So here we are, guys, number 7, and today we've got the guy on who, ironically, whenever I used to go on holiday, people used to say, Tamworth, I know that place is all kind of geared around the Snowdown. Now they mention Spudman. Welcome.
Put the place on the map.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, man.
Okay, so we've had a really good chat before we started the cameras. Kevin, I'm really excited to have you on. Thanks for doing it. We know you're mega busy. Thanks for jogging down.
I'm literally straight out of the wagon.
Chili and cheese all over the place, mate. But no, on a serious note, we really, really appreciate your time. Now, what we want to go over today is your journey, which, to be honest with you, is nothing but short of ridiculous. If I'm honest, I can't find any other word, mate. You know, it's the rise to fame, and I will use that word. You seem like a humble guy who doesn't like to sort of take compliments, but you are Mr. Tamworth, and I think a recent comment I heard was the best thing that's happened to Tamworth in years, mate. Is that really that hard? I don't know, but you've done well.
Tamworth Council will say that, but you know, like, we try and do positive, nice things for the town and bring some people into the town and bring a bit of a buzz around the town. So yeah,
absolutely, which you have, mate. So the way I want to sort of do this, I want to go back to the beginning, as I always do with my guests, which is quite a long way back, isn't it? 2003.
How far back? Yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
I swear I put those on silent. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Someone wants a spud while we're filming.
Oh, God, it's the wife. Darling, I'm in the middle of a podcast.
Glass. We'll be as quick as we can.
Yeah. I'll be quicker if I get off the phone. 6:30, 7:30.
Yeah. Latest.
Love you. Love you.
This really is one.
Sorry, that is the boss.
This is one.
This
is one off. This is one off the cuff. And your son he carries the mantle of Little Spud. Is it Little Spud? Is in the rapper?
Yeah.
And by the way, I've got a bone to pick with you because he's seeing a girl called Lexi, isn't he? Lexi's the niece of my partner Claire. So we're off here now, and I'll just kind of go wherever it goes.
Yeah.
We were in Pictures, the old Corey's bar, the other day, and Lexi sort of sat there with these people. Yeah, I'm seeing Little Spud, and also, well, I'm seeing his dad in a few weeks. So, is it serious? Is it marriage material? Is she going to become sort of?
I have not been introduced
a mini Mrs.
formally
Spud,
yet.
You haven't.
I have not been introduced formally yet.
Okay,
so we will see. I don't think he's quite got. I don't know. It's progressing. I think.
Okay, yeah, good.
We'll see.
Okay,
I promise he'll be nothing but a gentleman.
And I think we leave it there. So
Moving on swiftly.
2003, you you took over the van, I believe.
Yeah, 18-year-old Ben didn't know what to do with his life.
What was the hair doing then?
It was going great. It was still going great back then.
Yeah.
Back when I was 17, I was sat in the pub with my dad, and my dad used to be a potato merchant.
Yeah.
And he supplied most of the pitches up and down the country with potatoes, specifically for the people like me, bakers.
Yeah.
Wrapped in tinfoil.
Okay.
And I think he'd supplied the pitch in Tamworth for a good 20 years before I took it over. And
that same pitch?
Yes.
Okay.
So we've got history with it.
Yeah.
And Phil James, the guy who was on there before me, was retiring.
Yeah.
And we kind of got brought up in a conversation, and I was like, I'd do that.
Yeah.
And it snowballed from there. I had to wait until I was 18 for the bank to lend me some money. I had a little bit of inheritance from a nan passing away.
Yeah.
And the majority from Barclays. Day I turned 18, we took it over.
So that area there, that's surrounded by some pretty long-standing shops, and I've been in them, some long-standing staff. Did I ever sort of say to you, we've obviously seen this throughout the years, and God, we never saw this coming?
Most of the shops in the area around us has benefited off the footfall increasing.
Obviously, we're on about the middle entry, aren't we? The indoor market, is it they call it?
There's a few old traders in there. They've got their heads stuck up their arse and don't. I'm not being nasty or anything, but they get stuck in their ways.
Yeah, okay.
And don't embrace and move forward. But lots of them do. And lots of them are getting on to the social media and pushing it. I kind of want to show people this is what you can do. Let's bring Tamworth the place where all the everyone's live streaming, everyone's exciting, and there's stuff going on all the time, and it brings you can't just rely on footfall of people walking through the town these days. It's not going to happen. It's not there. You've got to bring them in.
You have.
Social media does it.
I think the thing is that, you know, let's have it right. People who walk through town, they're like, God, it's dying a death. It's, you know, the pubs aren't what they were, the clubs aren't what they were.
There are some amazing businesses in Tamworth.
I agree.
Like this place, the Tap, Wild Sweet. There's loads of amazing small independent business. We're never going to get the big shops back.
No,
it's not going to happen.
No.
But the small independents can do so much better job. We can give better customer service. We can give, you know, we can't compete on price, but we can give you something more for your money.
Yeah, no, agreed.
That's it.
Okay, so talk to me about the journey then from sort of 2003 to, I think it was sort of 1920, was it, when you took the plunge for...
Yeah, it was, you know, we've got to go back. Okay, so 2003, took it over, grew the business to not just Tamworth, but doing events. And, you know, we went off and did festivals and all sorts. About 15 years ago, my health got worse. Kidney failure. And I kind of had to reevaluate the business and had to kind of not so much travel all over the country.
And how old were you then?
What's 15 years ago? What am I for? 25.
Okay, kids.
So 20. One on the way, I think.
So a lot going on.
Yeah. And yeah, all of a sudden, kidney failure. 25-year-old me, complete denial that there's anything wrong. Still, you know, off doing festivals and all sorts. Had to change the business drastically from traveling to staying local.
Yep.
And build the business around the Midlands. You know, like staying local. Few transplants along the way that all failed, unfortunately. And then we come to COVID. COVID hits, and me and the missus are renting a lovely little farm out in Yoxall.
Yeah.
She's a nurse, so she goes off, and I furloughed. Well, not furlough. I don't get any. I'm self-employed. I got nothing, so I stayed at home with the little ones.
And how did you find that?
Lovely. I literally sat in the garden and spent. I think
weather was amazing, wasn't it?
We'd
that first lockdown.
3 or 4 month old. You know, and all the other little ones got loads of kids. And it was time I'd never get normally. Just, you know, be a stay-at-home dad.
I can relate to
and it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was. I was gutted to go back to work.
And when did you go back to work?
After the second lockdown.
Yeah,
we did the first one. I did the second one, and I went back on the third one. I was like, right, okay, it's nice staying at home, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, and on that, so you had a lot of time with the family, but did you use that time as sort of your time to, I don't know, did you in your mind create Spudman? Did you in your mind create...
Oh, God, no. No. Spudman, I think I'd posted a couple of TikToks on an old account.
Yeah.
Not a lot. And then I think it was just coming out of COVID, we started posting. Dylan put it in front of me, and I was like, yeah, come on, let's make some videos.
Is that Little Spud?
Little Spud.
Yeah.
And I think about the third or fourth one got 500,000 views. And I was like, just opened my eyes, like 500,000 people know who I am. 500,000 people potentially could be my customer now.
Time to give Dylan some credit. Would you have done it without Dylan? In terms of that TikTok bit, because I know I wouldn't do that without, say, like Morrison putting me on TikTok, which he did, you know.
I think it very much pushed me in the right direction at the right time.
Yeah.
We've been on Facebook and other stuff with, you know, a small amount of success, but not a lot. No real growth. But yes, the TikTok and posting that third or fourth video that we posted was the real catalyst for me going, wow, there's organic growth on this platform that you will not get anywhere else. You know, if you post a good piece of content, they will push it out regardless of your follow account. Your follow account doesn't mean anything on TikTok. Good content will get pushed out.
What was different about your content then? Because we spoke before this, and you again humbly said, well, I've heard about your former podcast, and I'm just a guy who sells spuds, so this is going to be really boring. But obviously, your reach, your coverage is immense. So
right place, right time.
Yeah,
there was no one in this country posting like POV food content. You know, like first person making food, and the live streaming as well. No one else was live streaming their day in a food wagon. You know, there was a couple of other. There was a Subway guy in America I remember seeing, and he was POVing this, making a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
And I was like fascinated by it, because it was behind the counter. It was letting people into the, what you see and what you do. And I thought it was really interesting. I was like, right, let's have a pop at that.
Yeah.
And I was just the first one to do it.
Okay.
And hammered it to death.
All right, guys, wanted to take this opportunity, like we do in every podcast, to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. And the one I want to speak about today is Wilkins Estate Agents. So Wilkins are an independent family-run business who cover everything around purchasing and renting property. Having opened in 2020, they've experienced massive growth within that time. They're the biggest name in Tamworth, I certainly know, and it's because of their ethos of putting people first in everything that they do. They've got 3 offices, one based in Tamworth, which was their home. They're now in Mere Green and Nuneaton. They've got an internal team of 30 staff members, which has doubled in the last 6 months. They have a dedicated WhatsApp group with every single one of their clients. We all know how stressful it is to buy a property or even rent a property. They keep you in the loop 24/7. And they're open 7 days a week. So while the other guys are shut on a Saturday and Sunday potentially, they're open 7 days a week. If you want to know more about Wilkins, the link is in the bio. I mean, well, you couldn't have imagined it to have gone so fast, so far, so fast.
Yes and no. I lost 2 or 3 accounts on TikTok before it really, like, the first account, I think we got a live stream ban. Second account was the same, and then I was like, right, this is my 3rd go. If this one goes down, I'm going to give it up.
I was going to say, did you ever feel like, oh God, this is just...
Oh, yeah. You have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
And, we were on TikTok for a good couple of years before we got really any traction. Mm-hmm. From that first 10K, and then that 10K to 100,000 seemed to take forever.
Yeah.
And then I think 100,000 to 200,000 was a bit quicker. And then 200,000 to 1 million was like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then from 1 million to 3 million was like another few weeks. It went parabolic. It just went nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, that is just waking up every morning. There's like 100,000 new followers. I'm like, how do you get that kind of in your head that 100,000 people have liked you enough to go, I'll follow this guy. It's interesting enough to drop him a follow.
Okay. Does it? When did your dad pass away? Sorry, you did tell me before we came on air.
God, about 5 years ago.
Okay. So he saw some of this, if you like, Spud's becoming famous situation.
No, I think it was. Was it just before COVID? It might have just been before COVID.
Yeah.
Crap with timelines.
No.
So yeah, probably just before COVID.
And what the hell would he say?
You know what? My dad was very good that nothing was a bad idea. It was.
Yeah, I like that.
It was business, but he would hear everything out. He would think it through. I was very lucky in the sense that my parents didn't go, you go to school, you get a job. It was like, you go to school, but you work in the background, and when you finish school, you go and start something for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't go and earn someone else money when you could earn it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky that they've always had their own businesses, and they pushed me in the direction of...
So you were already sort of directed in that respect. It was just
very
how
lucky,
successful it would be.
And I'm very much trying direct my kids that way as well. It's all well and good having a 9 to 5. It has its place, and that's right for a lot of people. It's right for most people.
Yeah.
But if you can do it for yourself, it's a bit more risk.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit more stress, but you'll be a lot more rewarded down the line.
So at this point, then the TikTok's popping off and whatnot. You must be pinching yourself because it's like you say, you wake up 100. What the?
It was insane. It was impossible to take in.
Yeah.
And just like, wow, even to this day, just insane. The growth was insane. And it wasn't just TikTok, like the Facebook popped off as well. There's 1.7 million over there as well.
Yeah.
Instagram. So we grew, and all the TV that came with it and all the press around it.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Like,
we'll get onto that in a minute about the stuff you've done, and I mean, again, the day that sticks in my mind is when was it the 1,000 spuds you gave away, and it was the queues and
the free day. That was like
day.
2,000 spuds. Honestly, the queue was insane. I think that was when we went from social media to mainstream media.
Yeah,
that's when all the media outlets were kind of open their eyes. I was like, hold on, what the hell is going on in Tamworth? Why are all these people coming from all over the world to this random little town?
So your lad, was he still at school when this was all taken out?
Yeah.
How was that received for him?
I think at first everyone was like, why's your dad got a pink mohawk? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening here? And I think they got a bit of shit for it.
Yeah.
But then I think when you start to get, the 5, 6, 700,000, they're like, hold on a second, this is quite interesting. And I think then they got like,
it's a simple name, but it's a powerful one, isn't it? You just think of, I don't want to liken it, but Banana Man, Superman, you are Spudman. You are the guy that's...
There is only ever one Spud.
There is only ever going to...
We're all Spud men.
Yeah. In
that area, but...
I know we've got loads of little Spuds, and you've got a Mrs. Spud who has already checked in on you tonight, but Sorry. No, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so as well as the day that I've just alluded to, the free day, what have been the significant ones over the years where you've stuck in your memory, really?
One of the nice Tom Walker came down and did a free gig on the square. We got about 5,000 or 6,000 people crammed onto our little square up there.
Yeah,
that was nuts. That blew my mind. I'm like, and these people have chased me to do it. Like, it's not like I've ever gone after them. They've messaged me like, "Oh, can we come and do this?"
Yeah.
And then obviously we've had Teddy Swims. We went down to the premiere of Deadpool, and we served Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds potatoes.
No way.
Countless social media people.
Like, Teddy Swims is massive now.
Teddy Swims is the nicest bloke, honestly. Genuinely like a normal geezer.
I discovered him in lockdown on YouTube.
Yeah.
Started playing some of his songs. A lot of them were covers at that point.
Yeah.
But his voice was like fucking insane. I was like, oh my God. Absolute madness.
Yeah, he just melts your insides, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so nice.
I like the pun, by the way. Buttermilk. So in terms of that day then when he came there, because that was pandemonium, wasn't it?
Teddy, yeah. The battles we went through in the background with the council to actually make that happen is, you would not believe.
Really?
The fights fought me at every turn for that.
Yeah. Were there other people there that day when Teddy was there?
We had a house band. Callum and the Pookies.
Did Martin Ford turn up as well?
Oh yeah. He's like, I didn't even realise he lives in Tamworth.
I mean, he's only tiny, isn't he? You wouldn't recognise him.
No, it didn't stand out.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you? I'm like,
how
squeeze behind.
Yeah. How does Spud look? It was kind of like a bonbon sort of thing. Yeah, but he's a big lad, isn't he?
The crazy thing, they all pulled up in this little Mercedes van thing, and there's about 7 or 8 of security guards and all this piling out, and I'm like, how they all? It's like a TARDIS. They're all piling out. Of this
I didn't go up because, like I say, it was absolute madness, and a lot of the girls out of the office were up there trying to see this, that, and the other. So how did they manage it on the car park? Did you have was it literally packed with security?
Yeah, we had a few security. Obviously, Teddy brought his own.
Yeah.
We were under strict instructions to the council. He's not allowed to sing.
Yeah.
We were not allowed any amplified music.
Right.
But, even his team were like, yeah, no, he's got a gig tonight, he can't sing. But then one of his crew came up and was like, yeah, he does what the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And then he got up and did a song, and we were just like, that was the moment.
Who needs amplifiers and whatnot? Yeah.
Oh, no, he just got up there with Callum, who's my mate.
Yeah.
And that made his year.
Yeah.
And, just belted it out, and that was a moment. That really was.
So, you asked me about the podcast, why it started, where it's going. I can't really answer that, to be honest. We're just trying to get.
It goes where it goes.
It goes where it goes. Trying to
You're
get
along for the ride.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
You can try and steer it, but it will go where it wants to go.
It will. And in all fairness, like I say, the reaction to it has been really strong, positive, and I'm all about that. In terms of yourself and where you've kind of come from and where you are, you must have had some shit as well, and you must, but you seem like a very, I don't want to use the word blasé because that makes it sound like you don't care, but you just seem like things roll off your back quite easy.
Yeah, no, I think you've got to be, when you're on social media, you cannot take the negative comments to heart. It's more about the person writing the negative comment than it is what they're saying about you.
Agreed.
Because if someone's, only enjoyment in the day is to knock someone else down, then there's something wrong in their life. Yeah. Not yours.
Yeah. No, that's a great way.
Especially when they're trying to knock you down for doing nice things. I get called out, you're just doing nice things for the camera. Yeah, but if I didn't have the camera on, I wouldn't be able to do all these nice things. And 90% of the stuff we do, we don't film anyway. It's that 10% that funds the 100%. Do you know what I mean? So we do loads of stuff in the background.
Well, I'll add some substance to that. So I just turned up at your van, didn't I, a few months ago, and I said, "Can I have a word?" And you were doing something with a gas bottle and all the rest of it. I tried to tell you a bit about what we're doing, and will you come on? Yeah, no problem. And then that was kind of it. So I thought, okay, so we said yes, but we've got nothing organised. So then I turned up again in my car. I'm like, I've got to get a date in. But yeah, like you say, none of that was on film. And they're the kind of moments I think that, where...
I'm scatterbrained, honestly. Like, the best thing to do is just, like, you grab me and be like, come and do this, and I'll come and do it.
Well, I set my missus up today, didn't I?
Yeah.
Go and confirm him, will you?
Yeah,
I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah,
now, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just...
Yeah.
I've got the health, the business, the wife, the kids, everything. It all adds up, and I'm only one person.
Takes me back then to where I was, I don't know, 20 seconds ago. Your mental health. And again,
I warned you about this. I don't have
you warned me, but I'm going there. I don't care.
The missus says I've got a wall back here, and there's a load of green bottles, and it's all back there somewhere.
And I think
one day it might come crashing down, but for now,
let's hope not. But I do think that that's too common, and I think that if you was to use it as an analogy, you'd probably want to just tip off a few bottles every now and again when you feel like you're in a position to do it or in a space to do it. But
I think I just don't have the time to deal with it.
Well, yeah,
I think that I keep myself. Work is absolutely my coping mechanism for my illness.
Yeah.
If I can get up and go to work in the morning, I'm functioning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a very blokey thing, though.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm too busy to be ill.
Yeah, 100%. I do get days where I crash out and I'm like, right, too much today, can't do it. And I'll just sleep for 12 hours or something. But yeah, that's work.
We'll see about it the next day.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If I have a down day, I'm like, that just piles more on me down the road. It is, but I enjoy my business.
I wish I was a bit more like that. Just, you've got a bit of Jack Nicklaus about you, haven't you? Who gives a fuck kind of thing, just small through it, and I think that's fantastic.
It is. A lot of people say, let's just say, the missus says I bottle it up.
Yeah. And
occasionally on her TikTok, she will show a reality. Everyone sees me bouncing around in the trailer, all excited, cameras on, Spudman's out, and then she'll put a video up of me at home, crashed out on the floor, wiped out, no energy, and that shit.
Yeah.
That can be the reality. Like, the camera and the social media gets the best of me sometimes. Yeah. And home life does suffer. Yeah. Due to that, and I need to get a better work.
Kind of so I can see you getting emotional. And
I told you.
Yeah, I told you I'd get you. But no, on a serious note, it's great to see, because it's not great to see in that respect, but it's just real. And again, you've hit the nail on the head there. Everyone thinks it's all sort of like great and look at me. I bet there's some days where you look at it, you think, I wish I were a queue there.
I have given
I could do 5.
The last 2 years everything to the social media. And don't get me wrong, it's paid off. I bought a house. I bought my first house. That was the goal. That was it. That was all I wanted out of it. Yeah. Out of everything was just to buy my own home.
But that's protecting the family, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I've accomplished what I want to, but I've sacrificed, so much time with kids growing up and everything else to accomplish that. The missus has put up with me running around like a twat.
Well, she still wants your own, mate, judging on that phone call. So you've got to be doing something. She
still keeps the leash quite tight.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
She does, but yeah.
Okay, so that's the emotional part done. You'll be pleased to know. What's the future hold for the Spud men and man and the world?
How soon is this coming out? Can I tell you? I've got a plan.
Kev, to you, what we got?
As soon as you.
We can work together.
We can talk about this. I'll tell you what in my head. I've got in my head.
Okay.
I haven't told everyone this yet. So
hear it first.
Pretty much. I want to go in a different direction than no one else is going to copy me, because obviously on social media everyone and their dog does potatoes now. Literally, there's everyone's got trailers or shops or boats doing potatoes.
Has there been a shortage at any point? Fucking animals.
We've got a good farmer.
I've
got a good farmer.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if you've seen, we now do these seed potatoes, and we're helping kids grow potatoes, and we're going down that road a little bit. I want to grow my own. I want to grow my own. I want to get back. Like, my granddad was a farmer, my dad was a potato merchant. I want to kind of go back to the roots and attempt to start going from farm to fork and everything in between ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
So
hearing your dad's voice there, give it a go. Come on, son. Why not?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
we don't necessarily have to succeed for it to be a success.
Okay.
Clarkson's Farm.
Ah.
Get that in your head.
Yeah,
It's all for the content.
Yes.
I get myself some land. I get myself a banged up old tractor. The equipment that's always breaking down every 5 minutes.
It works. Yeah.
You know, dramas. You know, we learn, and you know, we bring
That
everyone
program. That
along the
was
ride.
hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we bring everyone along for the ride, and we make the videos about it, and we show everyone how hard it is. Because I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue how to grow potatoes. Not really. Not on a you know, commercial scale.
So you're deemed, you know, like you are the man, but there's so much to learn.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't think it's a road that anyone's willing to follow me down. You're stupid enough.
You the new Paris Hilton on A Simple Life. That kind of Jason.
That'd be so much. Yeah, suck it. Give me some Daisy Dukes and a tractor, and I'll be like, well away.
So does Little Spud then step into the van as the main?
Little Spud gets so frustrated with me that I haven't.
How old's he now?
He's 17.
Okay.
And he thinks I should be driving a friggin' Lambo and have 30 outlets and like, you know, like I turned down 10, 20 franchise offers for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to do it and it didn't want to go down that road.
No, that's good.
It is.
For you, but I get what you're saying.
But
The younger mind.
Like 20 years ago, I'd have probably done it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was ever right for me to do that. We earn enough money from brand deals and the social media and video views and stuff like that I'm happy.
Question: would there ever be possibility then that Little Spud takes it?
Yes. It wouldn't be mine.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be mine. Mine is mine. And I'm very much like, if you start something, you start something for yourself.
Yeah, good. Which is the message you got.
Yeah, no silver spoon. Like, how do I put it? I will, you know, give as much knowledge and support and stuff like that. But like, you need skin in the game. You need risk. You need to be like, what you're growing. You need to like, you know, you can't just be handed to you.
Yeah.
Can't just be given to you, because then you've got no risk of losing it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
just are you happy to talk about the pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I will call the council wankers all day long. Absolutely.
Get it. So let's go on to the P.
You think that's a TikTok?
Let's go on to the P word then, and I think we all know what's coming. The pitch.
Carol fucking Dean.
And from
my arch nemesis. I swear to God, she stood there. She stood there with a. If you ever see the video, it's like a hostage situation.
Really?
Video. She stands there and she's like, someone's obviously holding that off camera, and she reads this and she goes, "Yes, we promise Spudman will go back on his pitch," and they build a fucking bench on my pitch, don't they?
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
Can we swear on your podcast?
You can swear away, mate. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Beat buttons. So an overdrive.
Because where you were. And again, I was in the Crafty 2 the day you did the 2000 Spuds. That queue was fucking. Where was it? By Tamworth Farms, mate? I don't know.
It got down to nearly. It was down there and turned right and went down to the castle, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
Miles.
Yeah.
And those at the back looked as sort of happy as those at the front.
What?
Everyone just seemed really,
I was
good.
dead excited to be there.
Yeah, it was wicked, yeah.
It was nuts. I'm like, I wouldn't queue up for a potato for 3 hours. And we did a pop-up in Wales like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Middle of nowhere on a caravan site. It was for raising funds for a dialysis caravan for the dialysis unit in Derby. And I was like, right, this is middle of nowhere. It's like Carnarvon somewhere, but middle of nowhere. I was like, a couple of 100 people are going to turn up. We'll be fine. I'll take 3 staff and my editor down with me, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2,000 people turned up.
Wow.
The police turned up. The roads were blocked.
You just see them coming over the hills.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
They came out from the queue. I think it was about 2.5 hours long. It literally went round the caravan park. I'm like, we are in the middle of nowhere. Where have you lot all come from?
Yeah.
It was insane. And I'm like, I don't realise until we do something like that, like how big it is. And
it seems like you don't, and again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if you did. You know, people want to earn money and all that. Don't seem like you're following the money. It seems like you're following what's right.
As long as the mortgage is paid, you know, it'd be nice to get it paid off a little bit early.
Yeah,
I'm paying until I'm 65. That's scary.
Yes.
I don't think I'm, with my health and stuff, it would be nice to get it paid off early. But
yeah,
I love the fact that we get these video views and we get these brand deals. It means I can keep my prices low.
yeah,
I can look after my customers. I can give lots of freebies away. Like every so often we go, sorry, we're not going to charge like over 70s this month.
yeah,
And it's really nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and do nice things like that. And it's nice because I can take it from there and put it into there.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's just nice.
Seen it on with the old boy the other day.
Oh, George. I haven't seen him again.
We had like a cult following now, hasn't it?
Honestly, we had
Yeah.
Specsavers got in contact with me. Is like, because he's as deaf as anything. He's like, as soon as he comes back, bring him down to us. We'll kit him out with everything. All the hearing aid. We haven't seen him since. I don't know whether he whether he got scared off because of how
Potentially,
they got hundreds of millions of views on all the platforms. It was nuts.
How is that bad? How is it anything about that?
No, it's phenomenal. And I said in one of the videos, like this video has earned me a couple of £1,000. Let's help him in some way.
Yeah.
Like what can we do? I don't want to give him the money because
that's
not right. We want to because he didn't seem completely, whether he'd understand or what. Just go give some old boy a couple of grand. But what can we do to help this man? And we haven't seen him since. Well, there's a nice little pot for him when he turns up.
I saw him earlier in a limo with a load of hookers. Actually, he's having the time of his life. Just chanting Spudman down the road. But no, look, mate. There's so much you have done, and in all fairness, like you said, I don't think people know the half of it. I don't think you shout from the rooftops too much. I think that you kind of let. I don't want to say the Spuds do the talking, but you let the page do the talking, don't you?
If you look, none of my videos ever go, come and buy this.
None
of my videos go, this is the best in the world. I just go, it's a potato. It's just a jacket potato.
And do you know what I do like as well? The fillings, the toppings, you were so open about the fact that some of it,
like back in the day, we used to buy it all in.
Yeah.
Because I was a one-man band and I couldn't physically do it all. Now we're a bit bigger.
Yeah.
I made a rod for my own back. Pretty much everything is homemade.
Yeah.
But it means I have to start a lot earlier in the morning.
Hence why the wife's asking, where the fuck are you? Get home and start work again.
Every day is
it's
12, 14-hour day.
Yeah.
It's a long...
But it's great that all of the family are involved. Hi guys. I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thanks to another one of our sponsors, and that is eWebs. eWebs are a local web designer. They've been trading for 15 years now. They are headed up by a personal friend of mine, Billy Cross. I think he's the only other Billy I know in the town. He started the business, ironically, while struggling with anxiety, which again is an amazing thing to do, basically because of being unable to hold down a regular job. Now, he actually taught himself to design and build websites, which again is an amazing feat. He's a one-man operation, and he personally deals with everybody directly. It's a personal, honest service that he delivers, and there's no middleman or call centres involved. Websites are fully mobile friendly, and they're built to modern standards. He doesn't ask for a deposit. I can personally vouch for that because he's built my website. He offers a free domain and hosting for 12 months, included with every website. Specialising websites for small and medium-sized businesses. Again, I can vouch for that. He's trusted by clients across the UK. To learn more about eWebs, the link is in the bio, as always. Given what you have done for the town and the adversity that you have faced from the council, I mean, and I know you've been quite direct with certain people and all that. How does it make you feel?
What? 23 years we've been here, and we've never had any problems like this. And all of a sudden, there's been no communication. This was the first problem.
So now you're bringing more people to the town. It's a problem.
Yeah. I don't know whether they've got an issue with me having a voice.
Yeah.
Because they could have picked on anyone or moved anyone's pitch, but yet they seem to have targeted me.
Yeah.
Which is a bit stupid, really, because I've got the biggest voice, and I am going to stick up for myself.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, my pitch is my livelihood. One of the things that they did was try to change our contracts. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
Oh, we've got these new contracts, and they were like, sign that. I was like, hold on a second. It says I've got to.
Not can you sign it? Would you like to sign it?
No,
sign it.
Basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, you've got to reapply for your pitch every 12 months. I was like, hold on a second. That's my pitch. It's a transferable, sellable asset. It's my biggest asset. And you're saying I've got to reapply for it, and it's non-transferable. So if I die tomorrow, it's gone. So I can't pass it down to my kids, and if I want to retire, I can't sell it.
Yeah,
because it's non-transferable. You just cost me £150,000 for whatever I could sell that.
Yes.
Is it? A lot of people don't understand. Like, I don't own it. I still have to rent it, but I own the rights to trade on it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
and there's some protection there in our old contract that that market traders used to get, that it was transferable. Once you've traded there 3 years, as long as you've paid your rent and you've not done anything stupid, you can sell it because it gives you an asset.
Of course,
and they tried to take that away. Like, really snidely went, "You've got to sign that." And I was like, "No, I ain't. I ain't got to sign anything."
No.
So they're just so sneaky and so underhanded the way they've done things.
Would you have any advice for anyone else out there that's going through a similar thing at the minute, or should we say signs of it going there?
Not think, don't do anything, straight away, and be like, there are better ways of doing it than going to social media and shout about it like I have. Like, that's, probably not the best way of doing it. I've probably burned a few bridges.
It's the most effective, in terms of if you like putting it out there. And I think that when you're
so they need to be held to account. They think that the decisions they make up there is like a pin drop that ripples down. That's like a tsunami for someone who's like me, on the ground. But they don't know this.
I'd say this arguably. I mean, you're being made to feel like you're selling vapes, or you're being made to feel like you're selling.
As a market trader, we're just second-class citizens. Like, we're just being the shops. They're like, oh, we've got to look after you. But as a market trader or as a street trader, they're like, oh, we'll just dump them.
The shops will last 3 months at best, and then fuck off and move on. Or
23 years I've been standing on that pitch.
Exactly.
I've seen the shops come and go and come and go. There's very few in this town that have been here longer than I have now. There's a couple of market traders that have stuck it out, but even the market's struggling these days.
And I'm not sure, Kev, whether you're going to want to take this out, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway. Jason down in Ventura.
I love Jason.
He's a great guy. I know him from football quite well. Yeah. Does he ever get any issues down there? I mean, is it a different kind of entity altogether?
No.
He's been there a long time.
I think his issues are different. His issues are with Ventura. But again, he's a trailer, and obviously, it's a very corporate place around there. There's a McDonald's and all of these lot, and I'm sure they would love to see him gone.
Yeah.
And they did move him from when it was Matalan. It was on the corner. We had a prime pitch. Again, Jason was someone that my dad had supplied for years with potatoes, so I've known him since a little kid. I see him at Booker's most mornings, and we chat. So
the bookies.
Bookers.
He likes the bookies as well, you see, because I know him quite well from there.
Yeah.
So he's a great lad. So you've just mentioned a very large corporate name there, and a rumor I'd heard was that Barclays was going to.
I have heard this. I have heard.
Okay. What's your thoughts? Is there any?
Completely different crowd. Like everyone's.
Is there any truth beyond it?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I don't know whether they are or not. It's very strange for them to come into a town after they've left it. And if they can't get a drive-through out of it, which is they won't be able to there.
Of course not. But my point is, obviously,
have been in there looking.
You've been moved, asked to move, whatever the term may be. I think
I don't want to say, but they're big money.
You see where I'm going,
and it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is why some of the council don't like me.
Okay.
I genuinely think because it's been shouted out there enough times, like, why don't you moan about them, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you run? I ain't got time for a start. And I think most of them know that politics is just a popularity contest at the end of the day. And I think with the social media that we got, I'm sure we could do something,
of course,
but I don't want to do politics at all. I think it's horrible.
Okay. And on that, in a nutshell, what does Tamworth mean to you?
It's my home. I don't live in Tamworth, but it's my home. It's been my home for 23 years. And, we were all kicking off with the council. I had offers to go all over the place. And I have still chose to stay here, despite the council, but for the people. My regular customers for 23 years are here.
But you've put Tamworth on the map as well, and that's special, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You are...
Look, we go off and we do shows at other places, which is really fun. It's a nice change of scenery, but we come home to Tamworth. This is my bread and butter. This has always paid my bills, and I will be here till the end. Yeah.
So, and again, just to sort of finish on Tamworth really. You can see the college going up. God, that's going up fast. All the shops are shutting. It's just
the regeneration. I said this from the start to the council. Yes, regenerate the town, but not at the expense of your shops and your traders that you've already got. Do not destroy the place and expect it to come back. You've got to like do it gently.
Yeah,
but they haven't. They've just destroyed the town and wiped it out, and now they have this lovely, pristine, paved town, but no traders left in it, which is a shame.
It's a shame indeed.
It is, and they've got to start from scratch again, basically, to get anyone back in.
Look, mate, I'll be honest. I didn't expect half of that, and I think it's always good when we do it in that way, in terms of just going where it leads. And you were right on the the podcast in terms of where that's going, and it'll go where it goes.
Today, mate.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, and likewise, and you have. I think you've reaffirmed a lot of what people already know and think, and that's that you're a really genuine guy who absolutely put the town on the map. Hopefully continue to do so.
Oh no, absolutely. Look,
and
I'm here to support the other businesses in the town.
Yeah.
Despite the council.
Yeah.
And there are good people in the council.
Yeah.
I just think it's misled.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Ben, aka Spudman.
Cheers, man.
Oh, cheers, man.
Thank you, guys.